The USS Harry S. Truman supercarrier has resumed routine operations at sea following a brief period in port for repairs in Greece. The carrier had collided with the cargo ship MV Besiktas M in the Mediterranean Sea near Port Said, Egypt, on February 12th. According to the U.S. Navy, the Truman departed Ceuta Bay, Greece, after completing an emergent repair availability and is now conducting standard operations in the Mediterranean. The carrier arrived at Ceuta Bay on February 16th, and a thorough assessment was carried out. Viewers may note that the collision had caused damage to various parts of the aft starboard end of the flat top. The U.S. Navy is yet to disclose information regarding the cost of the repairs or the full extent of the damage incurred by the Truman during the collision. The F-22 Raptor, long regarded as the world's premier air-to-air fighter, is finally set to receive a helmet-mounted display, HMD, in the form of Thales Scorpion system. The Hawaii Air National Guard's F-22s are the first slated for this upgrade, with the potential for the rest of the F-22 fleet to follow suit. Simultaneously, a broader contract has been announced to equip U.S. Air Force F-16, C and D Block 4042, and Block 5052 pilots with the Scorpion HMD, replacing their existing Joint Helmet-Mounted Cooling Systems, JHMCS. The absence of an HMD on the F-22 has long been a subject of debate, given its unmatched combat capabilities. Although an HMD was initially intended for Raptor pilots, the feature was scrapped during development. Reports have suggested that integrating the JHMCS in particular posed challenges for the aircraft type. Before we proceed to next, a word on NordVPN, which is one of the most trusted and fastest VPN brand that has a no-log policy validated by Deloitte. NordVPN provides a 256-bit encrypted tunnel that protects your privacy and also enables you to access contents that are blocked based on geolocation. Its threat protection system helps you avoid phishing, scams, and malware. NordVPN application is available for all the major platforms as well as browsers. Get an exclusive NordVPN deal with massive saving by going to nordvpn.com/defense or clicking the link in the description. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee. Norway has affirmed its commitment to providing fuel for U.S. Navy vessels, despite a Norwegian fuel supplier's threats to impose a boycott on the U.S. Navy. In a statement obtained by Reuters, Tore Sandvik, Norway's defense minister, said, "We have seen reports raising concerns about support for U.S. Navy vessels in Norway. This is not in line with the Norwegian government's policy." He made it clear, American forces will continue to receive the supply and support they require from Norway. Norway's commitment to continue supplying fuel for U.S. Navy ships comes amid a boycott threat from Haltbach Bunkers, a private Norwegian fuel supplier. The company had posted on social media, "No fuel to Americans," after the contentious exchange between U.S. President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The post has since been deleted. A Houthi official has threatened U.S. stating, "We will attack American interests if they defend Israel." Hizam al-Assad, a member of the Houthi political bureau in Yemen, told Al-Risala, Hams's official newspaper, "If the war in Gaza resumes, we are ready for an all-out war. We will attack American interests in the region if they defend the Zionist entity, support its aggression against our people in Gaza, or attack our country." The Houthi movement, colloquially, simply Houthis, is an Islamist political and armed organization that emerged from the Yemeni governorate of Sada in the 1990s. The Houthis have targeted over 100 merchant vessels with missiles and drones since the Israel-Hamas war in the Gaza Strip started in October 2023. The rebels signaled in January that they will limit their attacks in the Red Sea corridor to only Israeli-affiliated ships after the ceasefire began in the Gaza Strip. U.S. President Donald Trump has dispatched an official letter to Iran's leaders, suggesting direct talks regarding Tehran's nuclear program. In a Fox Business Network interview, Trump acknowledged the initiative, expressing his willingness to engage in discussions and highlighting the potential advantages for Iran. Tensions have been brewing between the U.S. and Iran since President Trump, in his first term, unilaterally withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal and imposed strict sanctions on Iran. The agreement had offered Iran relief from sanctions in exchange for limitations on its nuclear program. The Trump administration believed that Iran was exploiting the deal and pursuing nuclear weapon development. President Biden had pledged to restore the Iran nuclear deal, but it didn't work out. Meanwhile, Russia has offered its services as a mediator in the matter. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov announced that President Vladimir Putin is prepared to assist in facilitating diplomatic talks to reduce tensions and achieve a peaceful outcome. During a joint live-fire exercise with U.S. forces on Thursday, South Korean fighter jets inadvertently dropped bombs on residential areas, injuring over 24 individuals, according to Seoul's military. The South Korean Air Force reported that 8 Mk-82 general-purpose bombs were unintentionally released from 2 F-16 jets, missing the intended target range and striking civilian structures in Pocheon City, northeast of Seoul, around 10:07 a.m. local time. Preliminary investigations by South Korea's defense ministry suggest the mishap occurred due to a pilot entering incorrect bombing coordinates. Local media shared an image purportedly showing the aftermath, with dense smoke rising from a rural area. Authorities confirmed that at least 29 people were injured, including 14 soldiers and 15 civilians, 2 of whom sustained severe injuries. China has warned the U.S. it is ready to fight any type of war after hitting back against President Donald Trump's mounting trade tariffs. The world's top 2 economies have edged closer to a trade war after Trump slapped more tariffs on all Chinese goods. China quickly retaliated, imposing 10 to 15% tariffs on American farm products. China's embassy said on X, reposting a line from a government statement, "If war is what the U.S. wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end." China's top diplomat has declared that Beijing will firmly counter United States pressure. Foreign Minister Wang Yi also accused Washington of meeting good with evil for provoking a trade war between the world's 2 largest economies. The U.S. Air Force has revealed the official designation of 2 unmanned fighter jets that are slated to be flight-ready by this summer. In a press release, the Air Force stated that the aircraft developed by General Atomics and Anduril Industries have been named YFQ-42A and YFQ-44AA, respectively. U.S. Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin said, "Now we have 2 prototypes of collaborative combat aircraft. They were only on paper less than a couple of years ago, and they are going to be ready to fly this summer." According to the Air Force's press release, the 2 unmanned fighter jets represent the first in a new generation of uncrewed fighter aircraft and will be crucial in helping secure air superiority for the joint force in future conflicts. Troops aligned with Syria's new leadership have clashed intensely with fighters loyal to ousted President Bashar al-Assad along the country's coastal region. This marks the deadliest violence in Syria since rebels overthrew Assad in December and established an Islamist transitional government. According to the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, a UK-based war monitoring group, the conflict has claimed over 70 lives. Authorities have imposed a curfew in the port cities of Latakia and Tartus, where the fighting has erupted. Reports of skirmishes have also emerged from Homs and Aleppo. The violence began when government forces were ambushed during a security mission in Latakia, prompting the deployment of reinforcements. The U.S. Air Force's Force Design Director has stated that analyses to date show the service will face more operational risk and be less able to achieve assigned objectives without a new crewed 6th-generation combat jet. Air Force Major General Joseph Kunkel discussed the NGAD, Next Generation Air Dominance, combat jet, and related matters during a talk at the Hudson Institute think tank in Washington, D.C. He is currently the Director of Force Design, Integration, and Wargaming within the Office of the Deputy Chief of Staff for Air Force Futures at the service's top headquarters at the Pentagon. U.S. Air Force Wargaming has revealed a need to keep persistent pressure on the enemy in forward areas, and that a force structure centered solely on long-range, standoff capabilities does not win major fights. The service has yet to make a final decision on how to proceed or not, with work on a new crewed sixth-generation combat jet as part of its NGAD initiative, which will have broader ramifications for the entire force.